What happens when Nicolas Cage and his wife are living a humble life in the middle of the woods and suddenly gets interrupted when she is captured by a deranged cult of weirdos and killed right in front of him? It sends him down a path of sweet, sweet revenge, facing off against what is probably the most creepy, disturbing, disgusting, degenerate cult in all of cinema history, y'all. Yes, I said it. That's what you get in the movie Mandy, which is probably a top 3 Nicolas Cage movie of all time. I can't really think of movies that are much better that he's made. Someone can remind me in the comments, but this is up there. Now, when you watch this film, for those of you who've seen it, you know what I mean. You are staring down the barrel of humanity quite literally. This movie shows you the worst of humanity. Not only does it feature Nicolas Cage in probably one of my favorite roles ever. Unhinged, completely psychotic at the end of this film, getting into chainsaw fights with these villains, building one of the sexiest axes I've ever seen in my life. I mean, Stormbreaker is in shambles looking at this thing. Stormbreaker's nothing. Thor's got nothing on what Nicolas Cage cooks up in Mandy. But besides even that, the standout of this movie to me is how surprising the cult is. This features the most deranged, degenerate cult of all time. I'm gonna say it again. I'm obsessed with movies that have cults in it. I've seen a lot of cults. The cult from the Empty Man, the Pontifex Institute, that's obsessed with summoning an ancient cosmic entity, Nyarlathotep. We got the Eyes Wide Shut cult. Basically a cult of elites that dabble in sexual degeneracy and rituals in their mansions. We got the cult of the Void, in the movie The Void, that want a dimension to another Lovecraftian space to be opened. We got the cult of Midsummer, which is basically a cult of weirdos. Some weird shit's happening here, right? But in all these movie cults, you have different sets. One set of cults that is serving dark entities, right? Whether it be Satan or a Lovecraftian being, whatever. Then you have another set of cults that serve death and transformation of an individual. And then you have the cults that serve their own degeneracy. Now, a lot of these cults, what you'll see is a leader that is very narcissistic, has a high ego, and a messiah complex. He wants people to believe he is the man. He's got divine revelations from God, right? He is the second coming of Christ. This movie features a cult that has all those aspects fused into one, but also has a group of people that serve seemingly nothing. One aspect of this cult that serves seemingly nothing that is really hard to understand. There are 2 sides of this cult. The Children of the New Dawn is what they're called, okay? One side is the one you can understand, the one you've seen before. And the other side is just, you don't understand what the fuck these people are. They're just simply monsters. The leader of the Children of the New Dawn is Jeremiah. Jeremiah is a former musician, failed musician probably, turned into a prophet, who's been able to convince a group of people that he is the second coming of Christ, basically, that he is the dude who's got infinite divine knowledge. And what him and his people do is they take LSD for enlightenment. They take LSD to transport themselves into another dimension and all that shit, right? That's like a moniker of theirs. But the thing about this dude is, like all cult leaders, he has a very, very high... He has the ego of a god. He's narcissistic as fuck. And he demands everything. If he wants something, he better get it. Otherwise, he will abuse the shit out of his cult members until he does. And that's what happens when he sees Mandy's wife. When he's driving, when him and his cult are just driving around town and they see her, he gets a whiff of her. And he's like, I want that. I want some of that ass. Bring her to me. He literally says that to one of his female cult members. Bring her to me. Yells at her. He's like a spoiled child demanding flesh because he feels entitled to it, being a messiah of God. Now this dude has major insecurities because he grabs up Mandy's wife, puts her on LSD, hooks her up with all kinds of drugs so that she's feeble and not able to do anything. And he basically tries to show off about how much of a baller he is in front of her. Look how badass I am. I am the divine spirit. Then he proceeds to strip naked and show her his male genitalia. At which point, based Mandy loyal wife starts laughing at him. You don't want to laugh at someone like this. Because someone like this who feels that emasculated and insecure, this dude is going to go out of his way to do some weird, really bad shit. If you laugh at him, a man who takes himself this seriously, you're fucking dead. Which is exactly what happens. This guy, Jeremiah and his cult, along with another group, that's the second aspect of this cult that I'm going to get to, infiltrate Nicolas Cage's house, grabs him up, grabs his wife up, and basically they roast her alive in front of Nicolas Cage, right? I just realized I should have put a spoiler warning on top of this, but if you guys listen, I'm going into spoilers when I'm talking about these films, okay? I'm not just a simple movie review channel, alright? We're breaking this shit down. Nicolas Cage sees this. His whole world is shattered in front of him. That sends him into a path of destruction and revenge. But then we get the second side of the cult, which I call the Enforcers. They're a biker gang that deals with this cult a lot, to the point where the cult actually fears them, low-key. But they, in exchange for drugs and that kind of stuff, they will be the enforcers for the cult. These guys are known as the Black Skull Gang. They are former drug couriers who took a tainted batch of LSD that transformed them into bloodthirsty fucking monsters. And they only care to feel pain and inflict it upon others. These guys are like the most deranged sadomasochists you've ever seen, alright? I'm telling you guys, you'll never see a more degenerate group of people on Earth. You can find the weirdest cult of hillbillies, or the most degenerate freaking Midsummer Hereditary level cult that sacrifices babies to the devil, whatever the fuck. They don't come close to this. Not even the devil's rejects come close to this. That family of fuckers. When they're not killing or doing enforcing on behalf of the cult, the Children of the New Dawn, guess what their daily routine is? You get a glimpse of it when Nicolas Cage tries to infiltrate their compound. Basically, their routine is this. They watch Korn, for the YouTube algorithm, I'm gonna say Korn. They watch Korn, degenerate Korn. They snort coke. Okay, those first two are not bad. It's not like I haven't done any of those in the past. They watch Korn, they snort coke, they drink meth and liquid heroin. They put on a bladed knife strap-on dildo and proceed to anally R-word random people, men, women, children alike, with this bladed strap-on. Rinse and fucking repeat. At least one of them has that schedule. All of them probably dabble in it, but one of them, this is all he was doing in his day. That's their life, that's their hobbies, all of that in one. That's their cycle. And then they'll go off on their motorbikes and start killing and torturing people for the cult. That's what they are, y'all. That's what we're dealing with here. And we see this through the point of view of Nicolas Cage, who was captured by one of them, who for some reason kept them alive, and then he survived. He gets into a really fun fight with one of these degenerate bikers, and takes a sniff of that cocaine, and snaps his neck clean. One of the most badass scenes ever. I appreciate that, Mr. Cage. But that's what we're dealing with here, man. So, we get to see a cult of degenerates and terrible people get annihilated by Nicolas Cage with the most beautiful act you've ever seen. How could you not love that? Alright? And I'm gonna say this right now, Jeremiah, the actor who played him, deserves like an award or something, because this is one of the most accurate cult leaders I've ever seen. He captures the egotistical, megalomaniac, psychotic, sociopathic narcissism of a cult leader. The worst cult leaders. And he is played to be so fucking unlikable, so unbearable. You've never hated a character more than this. He's so pathetic and weaselly. The biker gang is terrifying because of how just disgusting, degenerate, and how they have a lot of aura, because you don't even know what they look like. They have these weird costumes and stuff. They look like gimps with spikes on. But you don't really know them. You know what Jeremiah is, and he is the most weaselly, pathetic thing. You just want to see this dude die, like vermin, and you get to see that. The one thing I'll say about Mandy is it has a very satisfying finish to it, right? It's sweet revenge that comes full circle. Everything the cult does comes back to bite them in the ass, and it's everything you want to see in the tragic films that involve a loved one getting killed, right? And I'm gonna tell you this, man. There are movies that are revenge stories, like The Crow. I love The Crow. There's a couple other ones I can't even fucking remember right now, but there's a lot of them, right? But the way this is done to this specific cult is the most satisfying shit I've ever seen, especially the way Jeremiah dies. I won't even spoil it for you, but all I'm gonna say is this dude begs for his life in the most pathetic, weaselly way possible. This brother goes from being on top of the world saying, I am the God's chosen one, I am the true Messiah, you cannot do this to me, to, I'll suck you off if you let me live. It's so satisfying to see him just crumble into a pathetic pile of nothingness. And the way Nicolas Cage kills him is awesome too. This movie is basically art house style revenge with neon coloring all over it, with a great fucking score with some synth vibes to it, and great performances, not only from Nicolas Cage, but the guy who plays Jeremiah. I'm telling you, he deserves a supporting actor award, even though this movie probably didn't get any awards in 2018. And scary villains, not just the cult, but the biker gang associated with them. They're freaking terrifying, y'all. And I loved pretty much almost every minute of this film. I'm telling you, man, this might be Nicolas Cage's masterpiece. All right, that is Mandy. I know a lot of people want me to talk about it. Listen, the reason I hesitate to talk about single films is I don't want to be a movie review channel. That's not just what I want to be. I like theories. I like being creative with my videos rather than just recollecting a movie, right? And telling you how I felt about it. But at some points, you just gotta talk about a film and appreciate it for what it is, which is a goated, purple neon-smeared, cocaine-dazzled masterpiece like Mandy. Nicolas Cage. I empathize with you on this one, brother. Thank you for doing us all a service and annihilating that fucking cult of degenerates, killing them off the face of the earth clean. I love you, brother. I love you. Nicolas Cage in this movie is probably, and his wife are probably the two of the most base characters. I gotta make a whole new list. I made a video about the most base characters in fiction. I think I need to update it, and because there's like I missed like 500 people, but still, that's Mandy for you. All right. If you want to know the scariest cults of all time, what they truly are, and what the #1 scariest cult of all time is ever, you can watch my video on that over here. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.